Patch 14.22 is now out, and once again Riot decided to do some massive changes to important ADC items. Because why not? And these are big enough that I need to do an update to the Kaisa guide. Like before, I'll go over the changes that affect the champion, then we'll go over her builds, and finally the ADC tier list. Alright, let's get started. So the big change for 14.22 is a nerf to Statikk. It's losing some AD, attack speed, and the cost is going down, and the passive is changed. Just instead of sending a spark every time you kill a minion, it now has 3 stacks, and when you attack anything, your next 3 auto attacks will send a spark. Damage wise, you're losing on poke damage, but when you go all in on someone with 3 stacks, you will do more damage compared to before. Though this only really works in mid game because in lane it's super hard to have your stacks up and ready for a fight while also farming the wave. But the biggest change isn't the passive but the drop in AD to 45 AD, because now sadly you cannot get Q evolution anymore with Statikk plus pickaxe. And although it's not dead and you can always buy a call to get Q anyway, it's a massive blow to any Statikk build since now it's more complicated and more expensive to get Q compared to before. But don't worry, because next patch we have a new item that gives you Q evolution, which is Yun Tao. It also got changed. It now gives you 50 AD, 25% attack speed, it gives you 25% crit chance over time, not when you buy it but after you land 125 auto attacks on anything, and finally a passive that gives you 30% attack speed for 4 seconds when you land an attack on anyone. So basically it's the old little tempo passive. And since Yun Tao builds off BF sword, this means that now you can go for BF sword plus pickaxe plus long sword for a quick evolution for only 2525 gold. But what's funny here is that the biggest issue with Yun Tao is, well, building BF sword itself. Because yes, being forced to buy an item that costs 1.3k gold in lane is not easy and not comfortable at all. So overall, we pretty much got a trade this patch. We lost the comfort and quality of life of Statikk for more damage in the early to mid game with Yun Tao. A second issue with this item I forgot to mention is that it's possible that it gets abused by champions like Yone, Tryndamere, or even Yasuo. And since it's our only item that gives you Q evolution at level 9, this means that any nerf to Yun Tao will be a nerf to Kaisa. And there you go. There wasn't that many changes, but they do impact Kaisa a lot. Alright, time to cover Kaisa builds. Since we have Yun Tao now, this means that Crit Kaisa is finally back. But even if Crit sounds pretty cool, on hit still remains Kaisa best build in 14.22. So for hybrid, you have 2 strong options. You can go for Kraken into Rageblade plus Nasher, and then you can go for Deadcap into Zhonya's, or if you face a tank, you can go for Liandry's into Deadcap. Or a second option you have is to go for BF sword plus pickaxe plus long sword for 3 evolution, and then you finish your Yun Tao, then Rageblade plus Nasher, and then the same logic for the last items. Now the tricky part here is to decide if you want to go for Kraken or Yun Tao. Both have similar damage, just that Kraken does a bit more damage, around 4 to 5% more DPS, but is also more expensive and has a delayed Q evolution. Yun Tao though is 100 gold cheaper and has a faster Q evolution, even though the build pass is not the best because of BF sword. So unless you have a specific preference for either, I recommend going for Kraken Slayer when you're fed in lane. This means having 2 or 3 kills early on. If on the other hand you have 1 kill or the lane is pretty chill with nothing happening, then Yun Tao is overall the better option due to the fact it gives you a fast evolution. The only exception is if you feel like the lane is simply too chaotic and you're forced to back non-stop and it's simply too difficult to back at 1.3k gold to get BF sword. Then here you can go for Kraken Slayer. But again, both work fine, they're really close in damage. Just remember to buy a call or an extra long sword when you buy Kraken Slayer so you can get Q evolution. The last option for hybrid Kaisa is to go for Statikk plus Skull plus Rageblade plus Nasher. Like I said before, Statikk is not dead, but it's way less comfortable on Kaisa, so only go for this when you're really behind or when you're really under pressure and you have a really hard time farming. Alright, next up, AD on hit. Here actually, Kraken is way better than Yun Tao, so the best build is by far Kraken into Rageblade plus Stormness into Squishies or Navri into Bruisers / Fighters or Bork plus LDR versus tanks. But it's not the only option here. If you're a bit under pressure or you don't want to spend so much gold on Kraken, then you can also go for Statikk plus Yun Tao plus Rageblade. Try to get BF sword plus pickaxe plus long sword at the start, but you're not forced. If you don't have the gold to get BF sword, that's fine, just finish your Statikk first. And then get pickaxe plus long sword for Q evolution. This build, by the way, actually does surprisingly good damage and is overall really comfortable. And by the way, for both builds, your last items can be Bloodthirster, GA, or even Jackshow if you need defensive stats. Alright, now we have the comeback of Crit Kaisa. For this, the best build based on my testing is by far BF Sword plus Pickaxe plus Long Sword at the start, Then you finish Yuntao, then you get Phantom Dancer plus Infinity Edge. And after that you can go for LDR or BT if you need Sustain plus GA or Zhonya's. Or if you want to have fun, you can also go for Shadow Flame as your 4th item, since yes, the bonus crit damage on IE does work on the crit that Shadow Flame provides. Now if you always love crit on Kaisa, then this is a solid build, but it does have some pro and cons. The biggest advantage of crit is the amount of burst it gives. It has the highest burst potential out of all the builds, but the con with this build is that as soon you start facing more tankier targets like Udyr, Leona, Ornn, and so on, this is where you start gambling. You rely entirely on your autos critting, but that's not guaranteed. The issue here is the difference in damage between when you're unlucky and you don't land many crits in a fight and you being lucky. The gap between being unlucky and lucky is 10% DPS. Yes, 10%. Basically, if you're unlucky, you can do less damage in a static build, or if you're lucky, you do pretty much the same damage as Kraken Slayer while also costing 100 gold more. So that's why I said that overall, on hit feels a bit better just because it's more consistent. But if you face a bunch of squishies, then crit is one of the best options since you can just burst down the entire enemy team. Okay, let's now go over AP Kaisa. Since AP builds have legit not changed whatsoever between 14.21 and 14.22, I'm just gonna reuse what I said in my last video. For the runes, you can run a classic fleet page with Palm or Life into build matchups with Haste plus Cut Down with Cookies and Boots, or Cookies and Cosmic Insight when you run Essence Fever. As for the builds, you have two options. The first one is with Essence Fever, with ER plus Longsword for Q evolution, plus 2 tomes and 1 rod for W evolution, then you finish your Horizon Focus and then Shadow Flame. And you can sell your Longsword at level 14 and D-Blade at level 17. And again, remember to run Cosmic Insight for this or you won't have enough space. This is the best build for bot lane AP Kaisa, since it gives you the fastest Q evolution and the fastest W evolution, which is perfect for bot lane since you can end up fighting a lot. For mid lane and top lane Kaisa, if you play into a sleepy lane, like for example Malzahar or Ornn, where nothing happens for 15 minutes, you can go for the classic AP Kaisa build, with Mana plus Students plus Horizon Focus for the cheap option, or Shadow Flame when you're fed, or Vosa versus tanks. And for all, you run Sorcery Boots. Finally, let's go over the ADC tier list. This was the one for 15.21 and this is the one for 15.22. Overall, nothing has changed because there isn't many ADC changes to begin with. And I don't know how much this Statikk Nerf will impact the Kaisa matchups. So I'm playing it safe and I'll make sure to update it in 2 weeks. Overall, I still think this is a back-to-back nerf to Kaisa. Sure, we still have a fast Q evolution and technically we do a bit more damage now, but the issue though is that in that trade we lost so much quality of life with Statikk, so it's not really worth it. This is why I think that the champion win rate will most likely drop by 1% overall during the entire patch. But again, she's not dead, just a bit more in a weaker state. Alright, this should cover everything you need to know about Kaisa in 14.22, and with that said, enjoy the gameplay and subscribe. Exhaust. Still have my barrier here. I wish I had ultimate there, my gosh. We can go for this for now. Yeah, we can go for Statikk. I'm not fed. I'm not fed anyway. The thing is, like, here, I could have backed and gotten a BF sword for my Yuntao. So here, the lane would be really good for me. Because I would have my BF sword, my long sword, I would just need a pickaxe, and I get my pre-evolution. So, in this game, things went well. But, again, every game is different. In some games, I might not be able to have 1.3k gold. That will happen at one... Oh my gosh, these queues sometimes. In some games, like, I won't be able to have 1.3k gold for my Yuntao BF sword. That's as much damage I can do. Oh god. Flash, I think, yes, flash. Nice. Nice. Nice job, Leona. Clean. Oh, oh. Oh, that's TP. Alright. No, she's dead, she's dead. Just back off. Okay, I didn't need to use my flash there. Ah, bon. Nice. That's 5 people. That's 5 people. Alright then. Nice. Damn. That your tree is okay. It's not bad, but your 3 damage. The 3 damage will never happen again, honestly. Oh. Oh, that's 4 people. My gosh, what's going on bot lane? Ah, bad. Close. Close. Nah, don't do this. Ah, 5 people again. No, but what the hell is going on bot lane? Holy hell! That's the 5th time! I have my work, so that's that. Try to actually get the kill at least on the Emilio. 5 again. Oh my gosh. Nice. Oh boy. Nice. All right. Good fight. Nice. This Leona is clean. This Leo is actually really clean. He dodge. Nice. I'm back pretty soon. Get my Nasher. A dragon. Should go for Galio, I think. It's very better. Oh, come on, that shield. Alright. Man, what the hell with the tower? How did I take aggro? GG. Alright, nice. Clean game. Perfect game. No mistakes, no hinting. It's perfect, actually.